home of Jan the Smiling Sun Champion, who is back. That's right, back again. And back from, obviously, the summer vacation that I had. So I've just seen the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we will show you our exclusive reaction to the round 13 and the first of the second half of the 2024 FIA Formula 1 season. What a race that was. Well, I just enjoyed the Olympics in Paris. Obviously, we had a great time. So, I wasn't really, you might have been wondering, why have I disappeared? Have I disappeared just like the Ferrari space have as the summer has approached? Of course not. We are here as the biggest fans, and even though obviously we had the 3 weeks vacation, just like the real Ferrari drivers and the Formula 1 drivers do get the 3 weeks off. So it will be, these 2 reactions to the Hungarian and Spa will be delayed by the 3 weeks, but I'm sure you won't mind, because seeing it from the perspective of the Ferrari's biggest fan tells you just how close we are to winning the F1 World Championship. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, for example, how you are enjoying the summer vacation of the 2024. Where have you been? Have you been to Paris for the Olympics as well? We have lots of great videos there. Obviously we also attended the opening ceremony, so we will post it all in due time. As we are heading towards that great milestone of 1,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for the continued support. And yeah, we will now take a look at the race, because that's what you are really looking for. So it took place on that very hot July 21st, and I was, you can see that water park, right, being located, right up there, which has, these great scenic views of the Hungarian of, the racetrack. I've been at the water park as well during that time, very hot, 30 degrees Celsius, beautiful blue skies. Had a great time. We will also post that. But, I was wondering, obviously, how well we did. And I have to say, obviously, just after seeing the race, I'm a little bit disappointed, because, obviously, as Ferrari drivers, we really wanted to win. And I believe it was definitely possible, to win. But lots of things, would have to, combine a little bit like the stars, for us to go right. Because, obviously, nowadays, the Formula 1 is very enjoyable. There are many teams, fighting for the victories. But, we probably really did need a safety car when we were leading the race, when we were extending the stints. So let's jump right not into that beautiful turquoise waters of the water parks, but let's jump into our race reaction, because I'm sure you cannot wait, right? So I was still able to obviously follow the free practices, but then from qualifying, I had to wait, over the 3 weeks, and I did, notice that despite the Sainz, topping one of the practice sessions, it was really the McLaren's race to lose, and it turned out to be the case, when there was obviously, the qualifying, they had an amazing pace, and so they line up, Norris, obviously Piastri, and then Verstappen separated by less than a tenth of a second, so very exciting once again. And I have to say, really losing the 3, 4, 5 tenths, really hurts you in a race, because we in the end finish about 20 seconds behind the race winner, which we have obviously the new race winner. We will come back to them later. So, at the start, obviously Sainz started 4th, then we had Hamilton with Leclerc 6th, and it was going to be, interesting, very interesting start. Obviously, plenty of action, especially the 3 abreast into turn 1. But I thought we did a pretty good job, after we then settled in, and, after Sainz overtook, obviously, Alonso, we then settled into 5th and 6th. Hamilton, the future Ferrari driver, had a great start there, and yeah, he did manage, to almost get into the 2nd place, because obviously Piastri kept the place, from Norris. Verstappen was being pushed around, and this was a great chance to really close down the gap in the championship, because they, Red Bulls clearly didn't have a pace. I think on paper we definitely were able to match them. Also, I think with Mercedes-Benz, we pretty much had the same pace, but the pace of the McLaren is a bit of a concern. So for us, once we were 5th and 6th, the really good option was to obviously extend the stint, which you can do in Hungary. I did race it before. It's not really that abrasive, so if you really careful through the high-speed corners, you can really extend the stint, and that's what we did. And that's at the time when Leclerc was leading, we needed to have the safety car, because that would have really helped us. What would have really helped us as well, which I didn't understand exactly why, would be to use a different tire strategy. So, having medium and then going to the hards, ultimately you're gonna lose some pace there, right? So, I think sometimes, in a qualifying, the teams are too, obsessed, with always trying to qualify. Obviously, it's close, but the shorter tires, meaning if you use the tires, they're not that much slower, are they? So why not, for example, save one set of soft tires and then simply do medium, medium, and soft? Because then you're gonna be very, very competitive at the end of the race, where obviously, for any safety car, you can take a great advantage, of that if you don't have the ultimate pace. I really hope we will have the ultimate pace. I do believe, the hotter conditions did play, into our favor this time. But yeah, pretty much we did a good job, with the making up the positions and so on. But once again we didn't get lucky with the safety car, it was gonna be difficult, because at the start, sometimes from the third place, like Massa did on Hamilton, for example, in 2008, right? It is possible, to make up the positions, but because we stayed, at the same position, and because basically McLarens were able to control the race, it was gonna be very, very challenging. But yeah, definitely I was, pleased that given what we had, given the pace we had, that we were back to our consistent best, because again, that third, sixth of the season, especially obviously with Canada, and also, with the Great Britain, we had some disastrous, strategic choices. Here, I think we got it, just right, extend the stint, but then go medium, medium, soft. I think it's better than, medium, hard, medium, or medium, hard, hard, because again, that hard tire, you do have to understand that there is about half a second to 0.6 seconds difference between the tire compounds, so you're just gonna be slow. And again, you're not gonna have that ultimate pace. So yeah, then again, for from Ferrari's standpoint, it's disappointing. I would have loved, for us to win the race, especially now that we are pretty much on the pace with the Red Bulls, right? But now, McLaren jumped us. So I hope, we can make a similar jump, especially, as we had, for example, into the summer break, and after the summer break, let's say from Monza, that can really kickstart the season, and the final third of the season could be legendary and could yield us at least the Constructors' Championship. Now, just a quick word on what happened, obviously, at the front. I mean, that fight between Hamilton and Verstappen was big. Obviously, Leclerc couldn't hold off, the Mad Max, much longer, but Verstappen got what he deserved from the future Ferrari driver, because you can't dive bomb like that. Again, he was out of control, and I was happy that Hamilton wasn't punished for that, because he really didn't move. He stayed straight. Verstappen crashed into him, and it just shows that his racecraft is still as poor as when he entered the F1, and yeah, what a pity. Obviously, he is on course of becoming a four-time champion, but we greatly enjoyed sending him into the air. Thankfully this time he didn't land on Lewis's head. With regards to McLaren, terrible strategy. I mean, you are 1-2. Why do you undercut your lead driver? You have to understand it didn't happen, in the first stint, because obviously, they were using medium tires. So if you go to the hard tire, the tire is about 0.5, 0.6 seconds slower. So, you already lose about 2 seconds, from the fresh, any set of tires, to the old one. So, the difference obviously, is about 1.3, 1.5 seconds, but then, when Norris stopped, when he was running behind Piastri from hard to the medium, you get these 2 seconds, but then you go to the faster compound, so you then actually go to about 2.5 seconds. That's why he was able to overcut Piastri. But, why to put yourself into that position? I don't think Hamilton was really a threat to them. In the end, good to see Piastri, win. We will see how good he will be in F1. I think, the jury is still out, but yeah, it was an entertaining race. It showed that maybe McLaren doesn't believe Norris can be a champion too, which might be, a big blow to him. But yeah, overall, this is how F1 should be. But again, these shenanigans, with the switching the places, that's really down to the team, because they should have always, give the driver who is leading, no matter what happened in qualifying, right? The start is also very important. They should have given him the preferred strategy, because in 2025, with Hamilton and Leclerc, this is what can happen, and that will, I think, then be much better. The drivers will also feel that it's fair, and then again, maybe at the end of the race they can fight it out and see who is really the best. So now let's use this Scuderia Red Retina iMac over here to show you how the race finished, because you might also be very curious, okay, to see what exactly happened to the Drivers' Championship. So over here, you can see again, Piastri obviously winning from Norris, and then Lewis Hamilton doing great job the past couple of races, and then Ferrari's over here about 20 seconds behind. What a pity Sainz didn't get Verstappen, because again, after he landed hard, sadly his car was okay, but I think Sainz could have done it. Here is the all-important Drivers' Championship and then the Constructors' Championship. So you can see Verstappen leading with 265 points. Norris has 189, so he's 76 points behind. That's 3 races, so a lot of points to make up. Ferrari is doing well, third, fourth place, but 162, 154 points. That's over 100 points behind, 103 and 111 points. Realistically, we are, I think, out of the title race over there with Piastri and 149. Look at Hamilton with 125, leapfrogging Perez and Russell, and then Aston's there with Alonso and Stroll making up the top 10. If we can take a look over here, I think we gotta go a little bit higher here to see our Constructors' Championship over here. So yeah, let me just bring it in. So yeah, you can see the Constructors' Championship over here. So Red Bull Racing obviously leading with 389 points. McLaren Mercedes is now ahead of us over here, 338. We have 322. Mercedes 241 out of it, and Aston Martin again, we are 67 points behind. There's everything to play for, but again, we gotta take the chances when they come. Obviously, we can't show you the beautiful cars from the F1 website, because now the standing is after Spa. And speaking of after Spa, obviously we haven't seen that particular race yet. So yeah, we will obviously show it and share the reaction with you next week. This is gonna be a great race. We cannot wait again to see it, because it's gonna be a run at a track that's very close to where I spent my high school years. So a lot of great memories. It's again, the driver's favorite, and I'm sure it will be an amazing race before that summer season starts for the F1 drivers. I already enjoyed mine. It's the closing ceremony, obviously, in Paris. We've seen the opening ceremony. Great occasion. And yeah, again, it would be great if, for example, F1 was at the Olympics too, wouldn't it? So now we will go to real drivers, favorite, the Spa-Francorchamps, where everybody, especially the Ferrari fans, will try to win, so that we can kickstart our fight for the 2024 FIA Formula 1 World Championship. We will see you in 1 week's time. Let's go! Forza Ferrari!